Let me ask you something. Have you ever taken your Parkinson's medication and then waited and nothing happens? Same dose, same time, but completely different result. And then the next day, boom, it works exactly how it's supposed to. And you're sitting there thinking like, what just happened? Because with Parkinson's, we expect symptoms to fluctuate. But this felt random, except it's not. And today I'm going to show you what might actually be causing that. And stick with me right to the very end because I've got a Bryce-ism that might just change how you look at food, medication, and control.
Welcome to Living with Parkinson's. The good, the bad, and the reality. Real talk, real life, real community with Bryce Perry. Let's begin.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the program. And if you're new here, my name is Bryce, and I was diagnosed with Parkinson's at the age of 40, and I've been living with this now for over 15 years. And what we do here is we take the stuff that feels confusing, frustrating, overwhelming, and we break it down into something real, something that you can actually use. Because this isn't theory, this is life. And just quickly, any changes to your food or medication timing, make sure that you run this by your neurologist, your doctor first. This is just what I've learned through my own experience. Okay, there was a stretch where I started noticing something that drove me crazy. I take my meds, I sit there waiting, and it was like nothing, no shift, no relief, just me sitting there thinking, did I forget to take them? So I check. Nope, I took them. Now, the next day, the same meds, the same time, and suddenly everything worked. Now, that messes with your head because with Parkinson's, we're always trying to find patterns, trying to get a little bit of control. And when something doesn't make sense, it's frustrating, it's exhausting, and if I'm being honest, it's a little scary too. And if you've been there, give me a me too in the comments. But then I started noticing something. Not right away, but over time. There was one thing that kept changing that I wasn't paying attention to. And it had nothing to do with my medication. It had everything to do with what I was eating. And once I understood the next part, everything started to make a lot more sense. Okay, let me break this down for you. I want to try to make this, I'm going to try to keep it as simple as I possibly can because it really matters. Levodopa, the medicine that many of us take, needs to get to your brain to work. That's the goal. But here's the catch. Protein uses the exact same pathway to get there. So when you eat a protein heavy meal and then take your medication, they compete. It's like the same doorway. They're going through the same doorway at the same time. And sometimes your medication doesn't win. Now, that's not theory, that's science. Think of it like this. You've got one highway. Everything needs to get through it. And all of a sudden, you dump a bunch more traffic into that road. What happens? Traffic jam. Now, your medication, it's stuck. And you're sitting there thinking, why isn't this working? Meanwhile, your medication is just stuck behind lunch. Now, let me bring this out of the science and into real life because I'm not measuring protein grams or building spreadsheets, right? That's not how I live. What I started doing was simple. I just started paying attention. When did my meds work well? When didn't they work well? And what did I eat before that? That's it. Not perfection, just awareness. And that awareness, that gave me something that I didn't have before. Something you may feel like you don't have right now. A little control. Now, if this is helping you connect the dots right now, make sure you're subscribed because it's kind of what we do here. We take the confusing stuff and we turn it into something real that you can actually use. Now, getting back to the protein, I'll be honest. When I first heard this whole protein thing, I thought, perfect. So now food is against me too? Like Parkinson's wasn't enough? Now my steak is working against my medication? But once I understood it, it actually made things a lot easier, not harder. Okay, the next thing that changed everything for me, it was consistency, not perfection, consistency. Because when your meals are all over the place, your medication response can be too. Your body loves rhythm. It loves predictability. And when you give it that, things tend to stabilize. Now, not perfectly, but better. And with Parkinson's, better matters. So consistency is king. All right, the next one thing you want to do is, and this one gets overlooked all the time, it's water, hydration. You'd be surprised at how many off days I've had that came down to one simple thing. I didn't drink enough water. Now, that's not exciting, but it's not complicated. But what it really is, it's real. It really is real. So make sure you get your water. 8 to 10 glasses a day. Okay. Now, before we get into Carmen's Care Partner Corner, I want you to understand, I want you to stay with me for a minute because right after Carmen's Care Partner Corner, I'm going to give you this one mindset shift that completely changed how I look at food and medication. Right. And honestly, this might be the piece that makes everything finally click for you. All right, so let's get into Carmen's Care Partner Corner. Here's what my wife Carmen wrote for me to read to you today. Hey everyone, if you're a care partner, I want to talk to you for a moment because food and medication timing doesn't just affect them, it often becomes part of your responsibility too. And that can feel like pressure. Trying to plan meals around medication schedules and trying to encourage consistency and doing it all in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming. What I've learned is this: it's not about controlling everything perfectly. It's about creating an environment that makes things easier. Easier, simple routines, predictable timing, and giving yourself grace when things go not as planned. Because they won't always go as you planned. They really won't. That's life. And that's okay. And one small tip that's helped us was reducing decisions, having meals ready, keeping things simple. So in the moment, it didn't feel like another thing to figure out. And on the hard days, don't focus on the whole day. Just focus on the next hour and the next step because that's where progress actually happens. Well, thank you, Carmen. That's so good. You know what? And she's right. She's really right. It isn't about perfect. It's about doable. Here's the shift. And it took me a while. I stopped asking, what should I eat? And I started asking, what happens when I eat this with my meds? Now that question changed everything because now it's not about the rules. It's about awareness. And awareness gives you options. So what do you do with protein? Well, it depends on you. Number one, protein is absorbed. So the protein absorbs your levodopa and your levodopa runs out. So if I'm eating a heavy protein meal, I usually take a half a pill about half an hour after I'm done, or a pill, depending on how much I've eaten. Now, how did I come up with that? Well, I came up with it by tracking what I was eating around when I took my meds. And I started seeing that I was when my off period started coming on after I ate, that was my sweet spot. I was running out and I had to fill it back up. And I talk a lot about tracking. But really it's not about tracking. It's about tracking but then seeing the patterns and what they lead to. And I know that's really difficult. So I've built you trackers. I built you a protein tracker for your meals. It's inside the club. It's totally free. The link is in the description below. So make sure you go and get on the early list because the tracker's in there. You don't have to think about it. All you do is record it, right? I ate this meal. I ate this steak at this time. I took my meds at this time. And after you log that for about a week, the logs, the trackers will start telling you and showing you the systems, the patterns, and what's going on, and suggesting help there. So I've eliminated that from you. I've worked really hard to try to make this as easy as I can for you. You just track and say what you ate, when you ate it, when you took your meds, and it will figure out the patterns for you. And I've done that for you. So go ahead, get on that list, get into the club, and you can start using the trackers, and they will help you. They really will. I want to give you your Bryce-ism for today. And if you're ready, here it is. With Parkinson's, it's not just what you eat. It's whether your medication gets to eat first. I'll let that one sink in. That might go, phew, someone's going to get that on the way home. You'll be like, oh my God, I get it. But anyway, that is it. That's it there for you. And you know what? If this has helped you, right, I'd love to hear from you. Have you noticed your food affecting your meds? Or is this something new? Drop it in the comments, because these conversations, they help more people than you think. And if you know somebody who needs this, please share this with them, because this kind of information, it's going to change how day-to-day life is. And that's what we need to change. All right. Well, with that, thank you. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And I want you to keep showing up. I want you to keep being real. And I want you to keep doing life today. And until next episode, know this. You're not alone. You never were. And you never will be again. I love you so very much. And I'll see you next time.
Parkinson's may be part of your life, but it doesn't get to define it. Thanks for listening to Living with Parkinson's. The good, the bad, and the reality. If this episode moved you, helped you, or reminded you you're not alone, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Want to go deeper? The Inner Circle is waiting. Monthly Zoom calls, 24/7 community, and a direct line to Bryce. You'll find the link in the show notes. Until next time, keep showing up and keep doing life today.